Okay, so now we're going to have an interview with Mijo, who's the songwriter of this song called Zoom Out. Hi, thanks for having me on your television program about people who go to cabins and write songs. Oh yeah, I do have one here actually. So this song's called Zoom Out. And I just read a chapter in Stephen Hawking's book called The Grand Design, and it's some freaky stuff in there about quantum physics, but also universes and multiverses, and just the potentiality of everything that's happening in this moment, and how the past is literally disintegrated as if it never existed. So we have memories of things that happened, but they actually, according to science, never happened. So that's when we're talking about quantum stuff. But the thing that really blew my mind was the thing about multiverses, because I've heard about this idea of multiverses. And in my mind it's like, yeah, right, okay, so we've got our universe and then there's just a whole heap of other ones. But I have no idea how they got there or whatever. And so in this book he gave an explanation that helped me grasp what it was. And so I want to share it, and it really kind of becomes a central part of this song. The way he describes it is that our universe, you zoom out from where we are right now, to our solar system, our galaxy, there's billions of galaxies, and then you get towards the end or the edge of the universe. And then the question is, what's outside our universe? And we don't know, but the theory is that there are other universes. And not just like one other one, like a secret one, but like gazillions of them. He doesn't use that technical term, gazillions, but I do. And so the way he describes it is that if you imagine our universe is like a bubble in a pot of boiling water. And it's just sitting there. So it's steam caught in these bubbles and they rise, right? And in a pot of water, sometimes a bubble will appear and it will disappear. And another bubble will appear and it will have enough steam in it to allow it to keep its form. So it stays as a bubble in the water. But there are lots of other bubbles that basically come into being and they disappear, they go away, because they don't have the right conditions to exist in that water. So this blew my mind because it just made me realize that universes, they come into existence if they have the right conditions to do it, and they survive if they continue to sort of expand the way our universe has done and is doing. But there are lots of other universes just kind of popping in and popping out of existence, not in fractions of time like that, but maybe over millions of years. They pop into existence and then it doesn't work out and it disappears. So it's on a completely different timescale. But I've done paintings and drawings of what it would be like to be outside of our universe. And I like that idea of thinking out to those limits, but I always found it really difficult to push beyond there. So in this song really was a challenge for me to keep expanding what is possible, how big this thing actually could be. And as a kid I had this thought, and I think lots of kids actually do have this thought, that I knew that we're on this planet spinning around the sun, and that looks like an atom, and maybe we're like a little atom in a cupboard somewhere, just floating around. And that's why it's so dark. And one day someone's going to open the cupboard and it's going to blast everything away. So I had that idea as a kid, and I think most kids do have some kind of ideal like that. But this helped me to just kind of keep pulling back. And so I tied into the song the connection of us as human beings feeling either alone or separate, because the feeling of being alone is a feeling of being separate from or separate to or not connected to anyone else or anything else, and we start to feel isolated. So I just started thinking about all the way down to subatomic particles, and even everything in between, these bosons and all this stuff, in which subatomic particles exist, and atoms and everything. Right down to that level, that is what we're made of. It's within us. That's what we are. We are totally connected via this ocean of bosons and subatomic particles. So this is going to cross the line between sounding really hippie and sounding really technically scientific. Hopefully I can pull that part off. I'm not trying to be a scientist here, but so anyway, we very deep down, even to our molecular structure and our atoms. I just caught that fly. I'm like a fucking ninja here in the cabin after 8 days. At that subatomic level, all our particles are swimming around in this atomic soup of the universe. So it doesn't sound that romantic, but basically we're always connected to something. We are a part of the universe. We can't be separate from the universe. So if we can't be separate and we can't be apart from, then we're never alone. We're always connected. And that's the beauty of nature, of going out in nature. My experience of that is, for some reason, I get a really deep connection to myself when I'm in nature. And I think it's because it's hard to escape the fact that you're a part of nature. That we think as humans we're made up of some special stuff, but we're just made up of the material that was already here. So, man, long story. I talk a lot. So if we're connected to it all, we're a part of it all, and that we're a part of it and it's a part of us. And you know, when I say it like that, it sounds like a really obvious thing. It's like, yeah, man, like that's what everyone says. But maybe I feel like I've ingrained it at a deeper level, at least in my own understanding, that they're always connected. So the idea of this song is starting in really close at the heart, being, you know, it's our heart and our emotions are the center of our own universe. That's where our reality comes from, our emotions that we're experiencing of the universe. So it comes through our senses, gets filtered through our brain, and then we have an emotion about how we feel about the world. So our experience of the world is our feelings of the world. So the song starts there and then it zooms out to the connectedness of, you know, that we're all part of a network of people, of a constellation of people that holds us together and that we float around with, and that you know, everyone has a heart and these emotions inside of them as well. So we're carrying this around together in a constellation, and we're a part of that network and that constellation. So we're connected. We're connected to other people, whether we like it or not. Sometimes, you know, maybe you don't want to be connected to your family or something. I do. I love my family. Anyway, and then the song goes from there. And it basically concludes that you're never alone, because in the universe, you're always home. You're always at home. There's always a home for you in the universe, because you are of the universe. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.